Good morning, children. How are you? I hope you all are fine. In our previous class, I have started the lesson number in social science, that is Ashoka, the emperor who gave up the war. It means the Ashoka, he was an emperor of a particular empire, and he won the battle, he won the war, but also he gave up. Why? That we need to learn in this, we need to know it. Okay, before that I would like to recall whatever I explained in the last class. So Ashoka belongs to the empire that is Maurya's empire, which is founded by Chandragupta. Chandragupta is the grandfather of Ashoka. Ashoka's grandfather Chandragupta, with the help of, with the support, with the ideas and with the suggestions of Kautilya or Chanakya. His name is, we will call it as a Kautilya as well as Chanakya. He is a wise man who suggested support the Emperor Chandragupta, and the result, Chandragupta founded the Maurya's emperor. After Chandragupta, his son Bindusara came to ruling and he ruled it. After Bindusara, his son, Bindusara's son Ashoka ruled the empire. So Chandragupta is the grandfather of Ashoka and Bindusara is father of Ashoka. So Chanakya and Kautilya, both the names are related to one person. He was the suggested the Rajaguru of that empire. After that, Ashoka came to ruling. Before that, how one by the another, the family members ruled the empire. This is called as dynasty. Dynasty means Rajavansha. Rajavanshastree ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಳೋದನ್ನ dynasty ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So let us see from the textbook. Ashoka was one of the greatest rulers known to history, and on his inscriptions were inscribed on pillars. So Ashoka, his rules, instructions, everything he has made inscriptions on a big pillar and stone surfaces and rock surfaces. He has mentioned or written his ideas. Those are called as inscriptions. Let us see why his kingdom was called an empire. What is empire and what is kingdom? I told you already. That is, kingdom is a small area. Empire will be compared to kingdom, that will be quite bigger than the kingdom. So the biggest kingdom is called as empire. So emperors are the most strongest persons than the kings. Understood? Area wise, army wise, as well as their population wise. The empire that Ashoka ruled was founded by his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya. More than 2300 years ago, Chandragupta was supported by a wise man named Chanakya or Kautilya. Many of Chanakya's ideas were written down in a book called Arthashastra. Arthashastra, the book which is written by Chanakya. His ideas, how to rule the empire, how to manage the empire, that all rules, regulations of his own, Chanakya has written in his book. The name is Arthashastra. There were, page number 68, there were several cities in empire. Cities of empire, that is Pataliputra, Takshila, Ujjain. Pataliputra was the capital of his empire. How the state Karnataka has the capital of like Bangalore. Delhi is the capital. New Delhi is the capital of India presently. Like that, their empire is also having the capital city, which the place is going to be held all the officials' work, that is known as capital. So the Pataliputra was the capital city of empire, the Maurya's empire. Then Takshila, Ujjaini were the most popular cities of the Ashoka's empire. There were several cities in the empire marked with black dots on the map. Map has given in your textbook. So red marks are the cities of Ashoka's empire. These included the capital Pataliputra, Takshila and Ujjain. Takshila was a gateway to the northwest. I have shown here a map of India. Here was the Takshila. Where is Takshila? It is here. So this was the gate. So this is all Ashoka's empire. Takshila was the gateway to the north and west. It was gateway to northwest, including Central Asia, while Ujjain was in the middle of our country. Ujjaini was the route to north to south. This is the south part and this is north part. So Ujjain was the route to come from north to meet south areas. Understood? Ujjain was the route for north to south and Takshila was the gateway to the northwest. These are the main big cities of Ashoka's empire. From South India, merchants, officials and craft persons probably lived in these cities. In these cities, officials to rule the empire, to maintain the economical things, whatever, that cities are stayed by the officials, then merchants, Vyaparastru, then craft people to construct the palaces, construct the temples. These all cities were having these peoples. In other areas, there were some villages. In the villages, there were some farmers, herders. In other areas, there were villages of farmers and herders. In some areas such as central India, there were forests where people gathered forest produce and hunted animals for food. In this central area, there was a thick forest. So those people were living in forest. They were producers the forest products like hunted food, hunted animals. Those will be converted to the food for the people, and the honey where you will get in big quantity in the forests. People in different parts of the empire spoke different languages because the empire is very big. It has consist almost India and out of the India, South Asia also. So different regions, different places, people will use different languages. Like that, in Ashoka's empire also, people spoke different languages. They probably ate different kinds of foods. According to the area base, they probably ate many kinds of foods. If it is forest area, they used to hunt and they used to get the meats. And if it is related to farmers, they used to have vegetables. So according to their region, they used to get different type of food and different kinds of clothes as well. How are empire different from kingdoms? I told you that already. Just read it. Emperors need more resources than kings. I told resource means the things. Emperors need more resource than the kings because this will be in big quantity. Emperors means the kingdom will be very big, so that they need more resources. Because empires are larger than kingdoms and need to be protected by big armies. If the empire is in big quantity, they need to have the more number of armies to protect their empire from the other kings or the empires who may came for the war. Yes, if the area is big, if the empire is big, they need to have big army to protect themselves. So also they need a larger number of officials who collect taxes. If the empire is started They need to get some taxes to maintain the empire. So if there is a large quantity of place, the large amount of tax will be collected. Then the tax, maintaining the accounts, and to receive the tax from the different areas, they need some more officials. From that place to the capital city, the tax should be reached, and it has to be counted, and it has to be give for the different works. So empire is big. Of course, all the work will be big, and then they need more officials, more armies. So they kept many officials in a different cities, and somewhere they sent their princes to take care of it instead of emperor to go ruling the empire. So empire is too big, then how to maintain it, how to rule it? Just see the Ashoka's empire, how he was ruling. As the empire was so large, different parts were ruled differently. See, empire was too big, so different parts were ruled by different people or different officials differently. The area around Pataliputra was under the direct control of the emperor. Pataliputra was the capital city of their empire. So nearest to Pataliputra and including Pataliputra, it was the direct control under the emperor. It means Ashoka or Chandragupta or Bindusara. Capital city and surrounding some nearest cities and places are directly under the control of emperor. This meant that officials were appointed to collect taxes from farmers, herders, craft persons and traders who lived in villages. So emperor will be in city, that is in Pataliputra. So farmers, herders and traders, these are from different areas. From that place they should get the tax. So to get that, officials have been appointed to get the tax and to reach it to the emperor. Yes, so many officials have appointed to collect the taxes from the farmers and the different persons. See, they used to get the taxes from farmers. Herders means ದನ ಕಾಯೋರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಕಳು, ಹಸು, ಎಮ್ಮೆ, ಕರು, ಆಡು, ಕುರಿ ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಕಿದವರು. Crafts persons who were constructed the palaces, buildings, pillars, they were craft persons. And traders means who came for merchants to sell or to buy. They are traders who lived in villages. From the villages, the officials have appointed to get the taxes from these persons. Officials also punished those who disobeyed the ruler's orders. Sometimes officials also punished if they disobeyed the emperor ruling. Some ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಅವ್ರ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಜನ ಎಂಪರರ್ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಟನ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೂ ವಿಲ್ disobey the emperor's rules, they will be punished by the emperor. Even officials also punished by the emperor when they disobeyed the emperor's rules. Many punished those who disobeyed the ruler's orders. Many of these officials were given salaries. These all used to get the salaries. Messengers went to and fro. Messengers also there were kept. Messengers means to give messages from one place to another place. And spices, S-P-I-E-S. S-P-I-E-S. Spice means these are also appointed by the emperor, but these will be hidden. ಅವರು ಗುಪ್ತಚರರು. ಸ್ಪೈಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುಪ್ತಚರರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ನೇಮಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ emperor will be in one place, Pataliputra, but officials may disobey the emperor. They may do some mistakes. To keep that in keen observation, they kept spices. These are called as spices. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುಪ್ತಚರರು ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಾನೇ ಗುಪ್ತಚರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಕಾಮನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ in middle of the all citizens. They will just observe how the citizens are, how the officials are, how they are maintaining the rules and regulations of the emperor. That all they used to get the information directly. They used to give that information to the emperor. Okay, they are called as spices. Then spices kept a watch on the officials, and of course the emperor supervised them all. With the help of members, officials, and of course the emperor supervised them all. So emperor always supervised all the persons who are living in cities, like officials as well as messengers and spices. These all will be under control of emperor, and they supervised these all peoples. Of course, them all with the help of members of the royal family and senior ministers. There were other areas of province. Each of these was ruled from provincial capitals such as Takshila and Ujjaini. Provincial capital means these are also like capital but not exact. They are also with the help of some members of their family, like princes, sons of the emperor. They used to take care of other cities or the places. Although there was some amount of control from Pataliputra and royal princes. Princes means their sons. They used to take care of other places. Were often sent as a governors. The princes were often sent to the other places as governors to take care of it. Local customs and rules were probably followed. Whatever the rules and the customs were formed by the emperor, that will be followed in the entire empire. And sometimes their princes, emperor princes, have gone like a governors to take care of other cities. Besides, there were vast areas between these centers. Here the Mauryas tried to control roads and rivers. So some are vast areas, two big largest areas. To control that, they used to go early to reach that areas. They used to use two transport, that is roads and the rivers. Through the river by boat, they used to reach those places very early, and from the roads they used Mauryas tried to control roads and rivers which were important for transport, and to collect whatever resources were available as tax and tribute. Sometimes people will not be willing to give something, but also they used to get the tax and the products from the peoples. To get those materials, they used transport like rivers and the roads. From that they used to bring. Then, for example, the Arthashastra tells us that the northwest was important for blankets and South India for its gold and precious stones. Northwest, that was famous for blankets. From those areas they used to collect the blankets. And northwest, this down north south, northwest was important for blankets, and South India, this is South India, was famous for gold and precious stones, to do inscriptions, to write the messages in the surfaces. So they used to get those products from that particular areas. It is possible that these resources were collected as tribute. Tribute means if the people are not ready to give also, they should get, they have to give it. Tribute means unlike taxes which were collected on a regular basis, tribute was collected as and when it was possible from people who gave a variety of things more or less willingly. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೂ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಯು ರೀಡ್ ಇಟ್. If you can't understand, you ask me and I will continue the remaining thing in the next class about the emperor and the capital city, Ashoka, war in Kalinga. These all things I will explain in the next class. Thank you.